You're going to hear an audio tape of Grandma Iole Banker, Grandma Iole Martinat, and I'm going to show you photos of the family. This is Grandma Iole's mother, Ida Martinat, Ida Revoir Martinat. She used to play with me a lot, visiting Grandma Iole's house and Grandpa Bob's house when they were living at 9863 when I was just a little 3-year-old before they moved into 35. I love that dress on Grandmama. We would call her Grandmama. Ida. It's a beautiful color on her. It looks really good. She got her hair done, and she liked to have it kind of with a tint of a decent amount of reddish color in there. It did make her look good. And then this next photo is of our cousins. So on Grandma Iole's side, Grandma Iole's father, Dante, one of his brothers, Aldo, had a son, and that's Maurice right there, Aldo's son. And then Maurice had a daughter, Maureen. That's Maureen right there. And then Maureen, I think she had 2 marriages. Her first marriage to her first husband, she had 2 little boys, but they had a different last name because the man, you take the man's last name. I wrote Martinat, but they really had a different name. And then by her second husband, she had a girl. And this photo was taken at Maurice's house in Crestline, I believe. I don't remember, but we must have gone up there to visit them. I think Maurice does look a little bit like Dante. That would be Dante's nephew, his brother's son. I like all the curtains at that house. It's kind of pretty. Even the red part is curtains. Very artistic. Nice picture. And then these other cousins are cousins on Grandpa Bob's side of the family. So this is the twins, Herb and Harry Reed. Unfortunately, I'm not sure which one's which. And then Grandpa Bob on the left there. See how Grandpa Bob has a lot of pens in his shirt pocket? He always kept a lot of pens and a little small notebook in his shirt pocket like that. I remember the one pen was, it had a lot of different colors. You could push different parts of the pen, and if you wanted red or blue or purple or green. And Grandpa Bob always kept pens and paper in his shirt pocket, so anytime he had an idea, if he was on the go, he could write down the idea or whatever it was. So we're kind of similar like that. I write a ton of notes myself and keep paper handy. I have a notepad in the car if I'm out, or numerous notepads around the house, practically in every room, really. So his first cousins, Herb and Harry, I forget exactly. There was a Fred Reed, and then this all comes from the B side. I think I explained it better somewhere else. Supposedly they're twins, I think, but to me they do look a little different. I kind of remember this one a little bit more. I thought, maybe his smile and everything kind of pops a little bit more than the other one does. So these are the cousins in Iowa, so in Des Moines, Iowa, I think with the tire company. Okay, and let's hear Grandma Iole.
Mrs. Sirp, my mom used to make Mrs. Sirp say that because that's...
So Grandma Iole is talking about her mom, Ida, and Ida's best friend, Mrs. Syrup. Ida was here in the U.S. Kind of all alone, no family of her own over here at all. And, no relatives that were related to her, even though there was Dante's relatives. It's different. And Ida didn't know English, and really didn't have any, she didn't work outside the home or anything, so Mrs. Syrup was kind of her main person. She didn't really have a lot of contact at first, until, she was just her best friend. So, here we go.
Ew, could, and clearly, meaning we chew eggs cooked in oil, and our dialect is doi, if, could, and clearly. Mrs. Sirp.
So this picture was taken at 9845, and you can see part of the pool and the diving board and the avocado tree. I'm not sure if it's still there. I kind of want to say the avocado tree is gone. I think it used to be there, I know. I think it is gone. And a nice deck. We could, have a table and umbrella and chairs, and then some grassy area, which was nice for picnic tables. This other picture, you see the deck at 45 by the pool even a little bit better. There's Grandma Iole's son, Jack, and then a real good neighbor friend, Bud. B and Bud. I don't remember their last name. They just lived across from 63, and he used to work at Sinclair Paints. And once he retired, Grandpa Bob hired him to do gardening at the houses, to kind of keep him busy. And he was a really nice person, and came over to chat with Grandma Iole, and very kind.
My mom used to make Mrs. Sirp say that because that's kind of a hard thing to say for people who are not Piemontese. Crate means cooked. Cooked is crate.
Crate means cooked. So I think really in the Waldensian Prustinank dialect, I think you say doi, u, quit, und luli. And then in Italian, it's, or maybe the Piemontese, which is a little bit more like regular Italian, it's due uove, and then something else, So I think the oof is French. There's me all dressed up, some kind of birthday. You can see the tablecloth says DuckTales there. These were our neighbor kids. There's Zach sitting next to me. He was my best friend when I was little, before he moved away, and his family members. And then this was taken at 45 in the little dining room looking into the kitchen.
Doi. Crate. Doi. 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 Crate. In uli. And clearly. Dewey is great and clearly. Hasta suita means spaghetti. Spaghetti is. Are you sure?
I think pasta asciutta is Italian, and this is just a little different.
Yes.
Pasta sweeta or something. Just go back and let it play.
Are not Piemonte.
It's better if I'm not interrupting every 30 seconds.
Great. Deve. Canta means up until. Say it again. Canta. I think in real Piemontese, lui eu cooked and clearly, meaning we chew eggs cooked in oil, and in our dialect is doi if cooked and clearly. Mrs. Sirp, my mom used to make Mrs. Sirp say that because that's kind of a hard thing to say for people who are not Piemontese. Cooked means cooked. Cooked is cooked. Doi, if, cooked in uri, and clearly. What? Dewey if cooked and clearly. Hasta suita.
Pasta suita, pasta suita, pasta suita. That means pasta in the Waldensian Prustinenc dialect. In regular Italian, I think it's pasta asciutta, but in the dialect, it's pasta suita.
Spaghetti. Dewey if cooked and clearly. Hasta suita means spaghetti. Spaghetti is. Are you sure? My mom used to make poor Mrs. Sirp say pasta suita, and Mrs. Sirp said pasta suita, and my mom said no, that's not right. It's pasta suita, but she couldn't get the suita. Say it one more time, right? Pasta suita. That's what they do to pasta asciutta. Pasta suita. Better. Pasta suita.
You can see right there, I would try to say something in dialect, and I could never get it quite right. Grandma Iole would always say, you know, I'm getting close, I'm getting better, but I still couldn't quite get it right. I kept thinking I had it right all the time, but she would just say better, but not quite. It's me and my neighbor friend, a next door neighbor. Had a lot of fun playing with them when I was little. And that was in my room. I had a little night light. You can see over here. It's a like a hot air balloon kind of thing.
Better. Pasta suita. Kantaro aviu sinkron. Mia mama e papa yang katanaka.
Oh, I didn't realize that her parents bought their house, their first house in Monterey Park when Grandma Iole was only 5 years old. I think she said when she was 5 years old, sank on. Might be how you say it in French. I'm not sure if sometimes she slips from dialect into French, I think.
Kantaro aviu sinkron. Mia mama at papa yang kata naka at 407 North Elizabeth.
In Monterey Park. That's the address. We drove by there. I drove Grandma Iole to that address a few years ago. And the house was still there, I think. Kind of remember. Let's see here. Yeah, and we drove by her elementary school, Emerson, and we drove by some of her high schools. There was Mark Keppel and Alhambra High. I think most of the time she went to Mark Keppel, and then just the last senior year was at Alhambra High. I'm not sure which one she graduated from, but she went mostly to one high school, and then just a very short amount of time, either 1 year or maybe even just a semester, I think, to the other high school. There's me on bass. Yeah, Grandma Iole and I got into watching baseball together. We watched the Dodgers together. I don't know how many years we watched it together. Maybe at least 5. But maybe, no, at least, because before the wheelchair. So probably closer to 10 years that we watched the Dodgers together. And we got interested because one of the restaurants we would go to, Pie and Burger in Pasadena, it's kind of famous. It was actually on the Food Network TV. They had a TV that was on when we would sit there, and they would play the Dodgers, and we kind of got interested in watching it there. And this photo was taken at 45 near the pool, looking next door to 35, the long curved driveway to the garage and the backyard there. And you can see Grandma Iole's son, Jack, on the left, and then his wife, Sandy, with the blue on, and then a neighbor, B, and that's Bud's wife, nice neighbors. And then here's my mom, Yolanda Lani, playing the piano at 45. I'm not sure why she's dressed up. I think maybe she went to some dances with her boyfriend, Tom. Let's see. Not sure where this photo was taken. And the next one was at Yosemite. I know I just saw a shirt in one of the pictures that I was wearing that said Yosemite 1990. You know, it says 90. So I know we went in 1990, and I think we also might have gone in like maybe 86 or 87, something like that. And there's Grandma Iole and Grandpa Bob. I must have taken the picture, and as a little kid, as much as I loved photography, I must have missed my mom. Although I guess I was trying to get the waterfall, and not quite sure why I had to get so much of the mountain. I think I was just trying to get as much of it as I could, maybe. But anyways. Supposedly Grandpa Bob was probably 5'10", maybe 5'9.5" to 5'10", something like that. Sounded like it. His brother, Paul, Lefty, was a lot taller. 6'3" or something. This photo was also at Yosemite. You know, I actually remember climbing that rock. I really don't have that great of a memory. I don't remember too much of anything. But I do remember that I enjoyed climbing rocks when, large rocks, when we were at Yosemite, and I remember meeting some other little kids up there and having fun playing with them. And here's Grandma Iola's son, Jack, and his wife, and me. I think this was maybe at Newport Dunes Motorhome Park, possibly. I could be wrong, but that would be my guess. I kind of think it was there. It does look like that. And their motorhome, the Dolphin. And this photo was taken actually at Iola's son's house. So John, Jack, the house he owned up at Santa Cruz. So there was actually like a cave that was eroding right under the cliff here. And there's my mom, Yolanda Lonnie. Did have a good view from the yard, I must say. And this is the same place, just on the beach right below the cliff there. And that's Grandpa Bob and me. Got to remember to use that zoom. It does help to use the zoom. Well, Grandpa Bob and I were pretty good pals there for quite a few years. I'd go up to his room upstairs at 35 and we'd, count pennies and things like that together. Do some math. He'd ride his bike with me when I was riding my bike around the house. This is also at Iola's son, Grandpa Bob's son, Jack, at his house in the yard there. That's, you can see kind of another cliff right behind Grandma Iole to the right there. There's Grandma Iole. Let's see. I was probably not quite 9 then. Not quite 10. So she was 58 when I was born. So imagine here she's about maybe 67 or something. 66 maybe would be my guess. And this is just another photo again from Grandma Iola's son Jack's house from his yard, looking down onto the cliff below and the waves crashing. And his wife Sandy and Grandpa Bob. Actually, a better picture of from their yard is from here. This was from their living room. Better view from here. You can see the yard. There's Grandma Iole sitting on the bench over there. how much I wish I could sit beside her one more time. I think we did this picture already, maybe. It's Grandma Iole's mom, Ida, and me.